Yeah, I have another few points to make. I'm just the last video I did, I mentioned that I got this private message about the small penis boyfriend, and I said in the last video I got this really long message, and I wasn't complaining about that. I actually really appreciate all the messages that I get, and I just want to go through a couple of the messages that I've had. I had one guy asking me about how testosterone will change his psychological behavior or whatever, and he's a big bodybuilder, and I told him that, well, I don't think I'm the right person to comment on that for you, because we're not exactly taking testosterone for the exact same purposes, and plus it's different for me as an XXY to take testosterone as it is for an XY person who's quite hormonally balanced already and wants to take more testosterone. So I couldn't give that person any advice, and I told him that. Another person here, there's a couple of people that are, they're just not sure if they are Klinefelters or not, and of course they stumble across my channel and then they're thinking to themselves, maybe they are, and whatever, so I've no problem at all anybody sending me any kind of private messages of questions and thoughts and whatever. Please continue keeping them coming. And today I got another private message, somebody saying that they also don't like to take medication, they like to live a free natural life. Yeah, and I just want to quote what they said here at the end. They said, the prospects of me taking testosterone treatment aren't that thrilling, because I don't like the person I hear you can become when you are on it. And I need to comment on that, because everyone's different, and testosterone for XXYs or for anybody affects everybody in a quite different ways. So, and I have to say that there seems to be a lot of XXYs, at least, out there that are not actually getting the right amount of testosterone, and they're convinced that I'm not on the right amount of testosterone, because actually I haven't met any other XXY that tells me that they're taking the same amount of testosterone over the same amount of time like I am. As in, they're not taking Sustanon 100 every 4 weeks. They're normally taking Sustanon 100 every 2 weeks. I have to say, Sustanon 100 every month for me is perfect. Perfect. It's perfect for me. And I'm back on track-ish. I'm getting back on track, people. I'm getting back on track. Okay, I just want to get another comment there from my good old friend. Yeah. Right, so I want to talk to you, Auntie Geekies, again. I hope I'm saying your name right. Am I, Auntie Geekies? But you said you think my personality seems very different since being on it. Well, I have to say it is very different. I'm no longer thinking negatively. I'm no longer feeling so insecure, and I can finally basically grab life again. And it's a damn shame that I couldn't do that without the testosterone. I could do it for the first year. First year it didn't really hit me, but then the second year it started to hit me bad, and you're saying that it almost seems like your energy level is lower. Well, that's just the winter. It's freezing here, and also I still don't have work, so I need to get work. And so I do have to motivate myself, and I'd love some motivation from everybody else too. That'd be nice, but not important. Now you're asking me, you're wondering if I feel that my creativity level is the same. I'd say my creativity level is kind of the same. But you know, when you're a bit down, or at least I think most artists when they're down, and most artists have told me this, when they're down, that they have such great inspiration, and you know, all the great shit comes out when you're actually feeling shit. So no, I think my creativity level is the same. I mean, I am a creative person, but I'm not as creative as many people in the world, partly due to the fact that I'm not very technically skilled. You know, I don't understand technology on all levels. Like my machine over there, my 16-track digital recording machine, and I've also got 2 analog 4-tracks up there too. I'm more able to deal with the analog 4-track machines than the digital 16-track. I find it really difficult to get a good sound from the 16-track digital. I don't understand it really. I've got the manual. I don't understand the terminology, and you know, my dad and myself are the same. We're both musicians, but my dad's well known for having feedback at his gigs, but not so much anymore. But God, in the years gone past, he had feedback problems all the time. It was unbelievable, and we didn't know what to do about it. But thankfully my brother is a sound engineer, so he was the person who looked after that. And my soup song, my brother engineered that soup song. I didn't engineer that soup song. And if only I had all my songs engineered in that way, it'd be brilliant. But I hopefully will. I'm going to basically do remixes of all my songs, because I've got 5 albums, you know, very, I have to say, personal albums, because you know, I put the work that I put into it, and you know, I'm not a worker. I really amn't a worker in that level, you know, not on my own anyway. I'd like a team maybe of people. Anyway, it doesn't matter, we won't get into that. Yeah, and you talked about antidepressants and Ritalin. I've never taken antidepressants, but I would consider testosterone to be an antidepressant for somebody who's hormonally imbalanced in the first place. You know, and it definitely is for me. The hormone imbalance makes me depressed as such, and the hormone imbalance would give all the signs out there to the world that I've got ADHD and bipolar and all that. Of course, because they're the labels that the doctors have basically said. If you've got all these symptoms, then you're ADHD. If you've got all these symptoms, then you're bipolar. Actually, hello, you know, I'd say most people have got attention deficit. I don't think most people have got a disorder though. And I'd say a lot of people are hyperactive in the sense that they're not your typical straight cake normal type. You know, I don't want to categorize and be a bastard here, but I'm going to be a bastard here. Not be one of these Christian church going boring type plain say nothing quiet fuckheads. Now, isn't that being a bastard? I suppose it is. But you know, the doctor's calling a person like me hyperactive in the brain, especially because I am hyperactive in the brain. I also start to do something and then I switch over and I do other things, and I basically have loads of things going at the same time. You could call it multitasking, but actually technically it's losing concentration on a certain topic and just flying off the handle, going somewhere else with it, you know, not finishing what I've started, that sort of thing. You know, that can be parts of the symptoms of ADHD. But I have to say to you, everybody out there, I'm not saying that ADHD doesn't exist. I'm saying that the label ADHD shouldn't exist. Yeah, that's my point. That the label ADHD shouldn't exist, and certainly you shouldn't be labeling people with labels that actually have disorder in them. You know, because if anything, this world is disordered. Now, I know there's all sorts of, you know, people arguing these points of global warming and stuff, climate change, whatever, right? I mean, it could be global freezing, but you know, talk about disorder. think about it logically. I'll tell you what's disordered. The justice system is disordered. There is not a lot of justice out there. You know, when people get life imprisonment, they're not in there for life. You know, it's 20 years or something like that. That's not life. You know, and that's disorder. Also, more disorder is that when, you know, normal people go out to demonstrate, not to protest, to demonstrate that they are against some kind of proposal in the government or whatever, and they go out in the street and demonstrate. Well, that, God, 10 minutes already. That and the police coming along and starting to beat the shit out of people because of that. That's disorder, you know. So let's be very clear what disorder is in the world, not be labelling people as having disorders. Yeah. Well, I can't believe I spoke for that long, but there you go. Suppose I do it every day.